Do you think it's possible to change men's behavior without first changing women?
No.
We've just established the premise that women influence men's behavior, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I guess...
So is it true that men are assholes because women date assholes?
Yeah.
So do women have the
For
right
sure.
do women have the right to complain about men being assholes when they're enabling that behavior?
Yes.
No.
What's up, YouTube? Poor Man Podcast back with another video. Give me the HBO special. That's the Help Brother Out special. Hit the like and subscribe button for more content. Let's get right into the video.
Is it easier for a man or a woman to acquire sex?
No, I think it's kind of equal.
You think it's equal?
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this. What is the longest that a man's ever made you wait for
That
sex?
makes sense. It's
Yes.
equal.
Okay, so
I used
then
to make them wait.
Right, so women typically make men wait, so isn't it safe to conclude that it's easier for women to, control the sex?
We control it, yeah.
Right. In other words, women sleep with who they want, men sleep with who they can, right?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, if it's harder for a man to get sex, should women be surprised that guys have lower standards for sex than women?
No, but biologically, men need it more
Okay.
than women.
Cross-examination skills
Who is more
on
likely to
point.
influence the behavior
He's
of the
going crazy.
opposite sex, men or women?
Men.
Are you more likely to see women going to men's night or men going to ladies' night?
Men's going to ladies for sure.
Are you more likely to see women going to men's night or men going to ladies' night?
Women going to man's night.
Man going to ladies' night.
Well,
There's
wouldn't
no
that
such
prove that
thing as a
women
man's
are more
night.
likely to influence
She's just
men's
making
behavior?
stuff up.
No, women going to man's night. That sticks to my first question.
not-
Women
men.
typically, do they even have men's night?
Bingo. Like,
Actually, they would never invite you to their man's night.
Does the fact that ladies' nights exist prove that if you control the women, you also control the men?
Yep.
Okay, so
Very true.
okay, so women influence men's behavior. Do
often-
women?
that is a huge point. And this is when it comes to guys, all these rules that women make up for guys, you got to be nice, you got to hold the door, you got to approach me, you got to take me on dinners, you got to pay for that. All that stuff is made up. Women use that because they can leverage sex, and they do it to men who they know don't have many sexual opportunities, because men who don't have as many opportunities value it more. Why do you think, like, when it comes to men who are taller, have a better or have a higher status, have more money, why do you think they just give it to them? It's because women understand that that's their power, that's their leverage. And for a man that has it already readily available, because he's taller, because he has more money, because he has more status, they can't leverage it as much. So they're more likely to just give it to him in hopes that they're so good at it that's what keeps them attached. That's why I tell guys, the best thing you could do, especially if you're a man trying to get to your purpose, is discipline yourself and discipline your sexual urges. That's the number one discipline. Because once you do that, women don't have the leverage over you anymore. Women like men who they don't have leverage over, who they can't manipulate. So you demanding or you needing less sex is automatically going to make you more appealing, because women don't like men that they're able to manipulate. If you're willing to jump through all the hurdles, women ain't gonna like you because they know that they can manipulate you. And so if you're a kind of guy that doesn't just fall into them traps because you have discipline, you're automatically gonna be more sought out by women. That's just how it works. Let's continue the video.
Do women line up to go to clubs full of men? No, men line up to go to clubs full of women, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then doesn't that prove that if you control the women, you also control the men? You get them to show up and buy drinks and spend money?
Yeah.
So women are more likely to influence the behavior of men, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess in that industry, I guess.
Okay. Women often want to fix or change men's behavior. Do you think it's possible to change men's behavior without first changing women's?
No.
We've just established the premise that women influence men's behavior, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I guess...
So is it true that men are assholes because women date assholes?
Yeah.
So do women have the
For
right
sure.
do women have the right to complain about men being assholes when they're enabling that behavior?
Yes.
No.
He's going
What
crazy.
do you
I don't
mean?
think
Why
so.
do you say why?
Because if you're enabling it, then it's stupid. You're just bringing on more problems, more shitty men.
Okay. Is it easier for a man or woman to acquire sex?
Acquire. What do you mean?
Is it easier for a man or woman to get sex?
It's easier for a woman, yeah.
Since it's harder for men, should women be surprised that guys have lower standards for sex than women?
No.
Do women have the privilege of being more picky because they have more options?
Yes.
Yeah,
Who regulates the sex in a relationship, the man or the woman?
the woman.
Right. What's the longest a man's ever made you wait?
I don't wait for shit.
So in order
Exactly.
to change men's behavior, don't you first have to change women's behavior?
We tried to
No.
with what's it called? You know, when the guys
Maybe.
dress up naked with the little thing on their thing. What's it called? When they put on a show and it's a guy. Chippendales.
Chippendales.
Exactly. That's what we tried to do.
Isn't it true that men are assholes because women date assholes?
Kind of actually, because
Very
girls
true.
like
Very true.
dicks, which is like, you know, physical and also mental. They're like.
Well, I mean, women like dick, but they also like dicks.
But they like kind of the dicks, guys.
Oh, dick attitude, not dick body part.
Exactly. They
Well, they
like the guys
actually
who
like
don't
both.
care about them.
Okay. Isn't it true that men are assholes because women date assholes?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So women influence men's behavior. Do they have the right to complain about the way men behave?
No.
That's not true at all.
But I mean, if women influence men's behavior, I mean, if guys are nice guys, they get friend zoned. So doesn't that explain why guys are assholes or bad boys? Because that's what women respond to.
Not necessarily. I think to each his own. I think women who look for bad boys, they're just bad on their own. And I mean that's, I don't know. That's a tricky question because
It's vice versa. I feel like it kind of feeds off each
You
other.
look
The
like- you
stigma
look
about
for what
men
you
and
want,
women.
really.
It feeds off of each other.
You look for what
and
you
they
want.
Influence
Yeah.
each other. Men are supposed to
and
have
then if you
this certain
complain about a bad
perspective.
boy or a bad girl, then it's your fault because that's what you're looking for in the beginning.
Why do women?
No, see, I would argue that because men have less options. When you have it, and I mean, I still think that it's important for men to vet the women that they deal with, but I get it a little more because you have less options. See, the burden of a man, well, you know, we know that men are designed to spread their seed. We know that, right? But our burden, like our life burden, the worst thing, the bane of our existence as men is that we are designed and we have to continue to build and maintain civilizations. That's our burden that we have to carry as men. Building and maintaining civilizations. That means we need bricklayers. That means we need construction workers. We need people that do dirty jobs, right? That's because that's our burden. We work 40, 50 hours a week because that's our burden. To build and maintain societies to make it safer for women and children. Well, then a woman's burden is picking the right men that then can go into that workforce to build and maintain societies. That's your burden as a woman. So it's your duty to learn how to vet men as a woman. That's why when women complain, oh, he was this kind of guy, he was that kind of guy, there are plenty of guys out there. There are plenty of good guys that are willing to jump through all the hoops and hurdles that you set up and do anything for a woman. You just don't want those men because you see them as weak. You see them as a man you can walk over. And women don't like men that they feel like they can manipulate, like I just said. So it just goes full circle. It all goes full circle, man. This stuff it all goes full circle. Let's continue the video.
Women often choose to make lists of what they want in a relationship rather than what they bring to the table.
That's a hard one.
Jeez. It's just like wanting that car that has the fast power, the horsepower, tinted windows, the top down, but you go in and your credit gets you the Kia Rio, you know, so you make that list to hopefully aim it.
Kia Rio's a damn good car. I have a Kia Rio 06,
Why she do him
180,000
like that?
miles for the record,
Going
still
left.
running.
Why do women often attack a man's masculinity when they don't get what they want?
Because they want to belittle them.
Why is sex typically the first thing that's withheld when women don't get what they want?
Because that's what it's all about.
What does that say about what women actually contribute to a relationship?
It depends on the women.
Isn't that the same thing as using sex as a weapon against men?
Yes.
Why do women often attack a man's masculinity when they don't get what they want?
And then claim they want them to
I
be
don't
more
think I do
vulnerable.
that, but if
I'm not saying you do that, but why do a
if
lot
I
of
did,
women?
or if a lot of women do it, it's because sometimes men don't like to show their emotions, so they kind of want to see that men beg, cry, sort of like come down from being macho and just I'm a human, I have feelings too.
Okay. Why do women want men to
being
show
honest,
their
but-
emotions when the man's feelings are typically the last ones considered and are often made fun of?
Oh.
This motherfucker gonna make me cry.
Because we want to know they're there, you know? It's like, we got to know you have it. If we ever needed it to show, we need to know that it's there. Like,
Why is
No. it's a way for them to solidify their spot. They want you to become emotional and vulnerable, quote unquote, so they can get more leverage over you, so they can control you more through little manipulation things like holding it over your head or belittling you whenever they can. If you remain stoic and you don't give a woman that leverage, they don't have more power and more ability to gain power over you. You know what I mean? Like if I then become vulnerable, knowing that no one cares about a man's vulnerability. No, they don't. Women do not want no emotional man. I don't care what women tell you. It's a crock. Women do not want no emotional man. All right. The only reason why they want men who are traditionally stoic to become emotional is so that they can feel like they're closer to you, so they can feel like they have more leverage too when it comes to an argument. Now we can throw it in your face whenever we need. And that's bad women though. Some good women truly allow you to speak to them and be open with them and be, a little bit vulnerable as a man. Of course, if you take that too far, it's going to be seen as a turnoff. We all know that. But so some women definitely do that, where they'll get you to be vulnerable just so they can throw it in your face at the first opportunity.
Sex, typically the first thing that's withheld when women don't get what they want.
That's all that men want. So.
Well, what does that say about what women actually contribute to a relationship?
Going crazy.
It says that we hold the power and we consent the sexual acts, so.
Isn't that the same thing as using sex as a weapon against men?
It is, but we don't have nothing else to use against them. We're not stronger than them.
Why is sex typically the first thing that's withheld when women don't get what they want?
Manipulation.
What does that say about what women
brutally
actually
honest.
contribute to a relationship?
I mean, that doesn't mean shit. Sex doesn't mean shit about what they
Well, once
bring
again,
to.
if it didn't mean anything, why would it be the first thing that's withheld?
Manipulation. It's just a manipulation. It's tactic. It's the easiest one to bring forward.
Isn't that the
Manipulating
same
weak
thing
men.
as using sex as a weapon against men?
Yeah.
It's the first thing that we're there because that's the first thing the men want. When we first meet a woman, we don't really want to get to know her. The first thing we want sex.
Okay,
It's true.
well, what does that say about what women actually contribute to a relationship?
90%.
Okay.
80%, 95%. When we see a woman, you're not looking like, oh, it's going to be my wife. You're looking like, damn, she fine. I'll fuck her.
What is the longest you've gone without having sex?
A month.
What is the longest you've gone by choice without having sex?
A month.
So do jail sentences count?
A year.
What is the longest by choice you've gone without having sex?
A year.
Who is more likely to lie about how long they've gone without sex, men or women?
Men.
Don't men lie about getting more and women lie about getting less?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because it's the stereotypes that they have against women that you shouldn't be having sex a lot.
Who is more likely to lie about how
Who
long
has
they've
that?
gone without sex, men or women?
They?
Men.
Women.
Don't men lie about getting more and women lie about getting less?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why are women who sleep around seen as sluts while men who sleep around are seen as studs?
Because of the world and the stereotypes.
It's society and how they feel like a man who gets more is a player and a woman who gets more is a slut.
Like a man's value increases and a woman's value decreases.
Okay.
It's crazy how women always blame this on society, but they often forget that women make up majority of society, right? So there are more women on the planet than men. So if these are societal standards, and society includes men and women, but it's majority women, then it isn't just men putting these standards on women. Like, so when people say society, you got to include yourself in that demographic because you're a part of society. Women are a part of society. So if society created these rules, that's partly to blame on women. Let's continue.
Could it be because it's easy for a woman to be a slut?
I mean, it is easier.
Could it be because it's easier for a woman to be a slut?
Yeah, but we also can get money from it too.
What's the difference between shaming a woman for being a slut and shaming a man for being an incel? In other words, why are women shamed for having too much sex while men are shamed for not getting any sex?
I guess, I don't know. Men are shamed for getting sex too. I shame men for getting too much sex.
Don't women have a choice to be a slut, but a man doesn't have a choice to be an incel?
What's an incel?
Involuntarily celibate.
Okay.
Like specifically, I feel like guys are shamed when it's more clear that a girl is not interested and they keep going for it. Like when it's too much.
Why are men shamed for not being able to get sex, but also shamed for trying to get sex?
It's all about your approach.
I mean, isn't that kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't?
Like
I
she
mean,
said,
I feel like it
depends
is
on
for
your
both
approach.
sexes. It depends on your approach.
Some
It's
guys
a
are
social
just very
stigma for all
vulgar,
this shit, yeah.
and other men approach like real gentlemen.
What are the characteristics of a gentleman?
To me, is not lying about nothing. You know, telling them what it is, and whatever they want to do with that, that's what they can do with that.
What would you call the female equivalent of a gentleman?
A lady,
A lady. What are the characteristics of a lady?
respect, honor. That's about it. I mean,
Should a woman who doesn't act like a lady expect a man to act like a gentleman?
no.
What is the difference between respecting a woman and making her feel special versus the guy just pandering to her every need?
Say that one more time.
What is the difference between respecting a woman and making her feel special versus the guy just pandering to her every need?
What is the difference? I'm gonna give her what she needs, not what she wants.
And what is
That's a
that
good
difference? Can you
answer.
elaborate on that?
Does she need her nails done or does she want her nails done? So if she
pretty
needs them
good answer.
done, I'm gonna do it. If she wants them done, I might not.
If women weren't slut shamed and were actually celebrated for being a slut, would they still play hard to get?
Yes,
Why?
because you can get more money out of them if you play hard to get.
Could it be because women use sex to get power?
Some of them, yes, yeah.
That's
Are
it.
women more interested in love or power?
Depends on the person.
Are men more likely to use power to get sex, or are women more likely to use sex to get power?
Sex to get power.
Do you think women are more interested in love or power?
Power.
Really? That's interesting. Okay. If all the men in the world were gay, how would women get power?
By creating and being a dominant force in society
Would have
and
no
government
power.
and leadership and influence.
Since men aren't all gay, where do women actually get their power from? Since men aren't all gay, where do women actually get their power from?
We said it earlier with the sex. Control and
Okay,
act.
so can we agree that women get their power by manipulating straight men?
Nope, there it is. There it is.
I mean, don't women have power because men give it to them? If all the men in the world were gay, how would women get power?
Sheesh! Say it. I don't say it one more time.
If all the men in the world were gay, how would women get power? Since men
I don't fucking know. Money shit.
since men aren't all gay, where do women actually get their power from?
They pussy.
So can we agree that women get their power by manipulating straight men?
It depends on the individual, but yeah.
Okay, don't women get power by using sex as a weapon against men? Don't women get power because men give it to them?
Women are the world. Women have power. Most men only want to take the power because they want to take from women. If God was a man, a woman, or an animal, and walked up to me, I'm gonna go to the woman because I believe God is a woman. So I'm the wrong person to ask that question.
Okay,
They
but
got power regardless.
Well, right.
We can't be born without a woman.
Well, right, but women
But a
can't
woman
conceive
can't-
without a man.
Thank you.
Right,
What are
that's
you
true.
talking
But
about?
don't y'all read the Bible and the Bible say that the Virgin Mary had a child?
Yeah, but that
Guess
was
what? No. She had a child without a man.
right, but that happened.
That's power.
But that happened one time. Has it ever happened again since then?
It said that a snake talked to Adam and Eve in the garden. I ain't seen a snake talk since I've been alive.
So at the end of the day, men.
And that is the most annoying thing ever. When your questions and your logic start to contradict and the person can't see it, like that's the most annoying thing. And a lot of times I be thinking, is this person just disagreeing? Are they disagreeing because they actually believe what they're saying, or do they know it sounds ridiculous? They just have to stand on what they said, so they continue to go down this rabbit hole of contradiction because they just don't want to admit that they're wrong. Because and so many women like to throw that in your face. Let's just be completely honest. An egg is not alive. Women like to say every time, well, men, we don't need men. We don't need men to procreate. Women or men need us because we give birth. We bring life into this world. Number one, you can't do it without a man's sperm. You can't. Number two, sperm is alive, an egg is not alive. So if we're talking about the introduction of life, what is really introducing the life? And I'm not downplaying a woman's, I'm not downplaying pregnancy, right? I understand that that's a very tough thing to do, and it takes a lot out of a woman to do it. But I'm just saying, hey, don't start trying to get carried away. And it's always convenient. It's always, oh, women can bring life into this world. Women can do this and that. When you want to prove that women are better. But as soon as you say, well, why are you a single mother? This and that. And then women want to say, oh, it takes two to tango. It always takes two to tango when somebody is a single mother. But when we're talking about who is superior, quote unquote, it's always, oh, women are superior because we can bring life into this world. Let's continue.
Give women their power, right? So aren't women biting the hand that feeds them when they say men are toxic, men ain't shit?
Definitely.
Okay.
I have to agree with that one.
Is that smart? I mean, are the women smarter if they're doing that?
No, it's not smart, but it's sort of like a dog. It's like dogs are messy. Dogs make, a lot of noise, but at the same time, everybody wants them. They still that cute, cuddly moment, so it's the same with men.
And finally, what advice would you give to the men that don't trust women?
You don't trust yourself. And you need to start trusting yourself so you can trust her. Because not all women are bad.
But that's the end of the video, y'all. Just to give my final thoughts. His cross-examination skills are on point. He leads you down this funnel of questions where you can't deny it. You can't deny his questioning. So like he'll say something like this. This is just for example. He'll go, would you rather, as a woman, he'll go up to a woman, he'll say, would you rather approach men or would you rather men approach you? Generally speaking, if it's a reasonable woman, if she's like most women, she'll say, I would prefer for men to approach me. Even if she says, I prefer to approach women, he can just go, do you think that's typical amongst women? And any reasonable person would say that typically speaking, women like it when men approach them, right? And then from there, you can go, who has a higher success rate when it comes to approach, men or women? Women. Who do you think is better at communicating, men or women? Generally speaking, women are going to say women. So if women are, and so you could say, and so now they're locked into those concepts. They're locked into those answers. So then from there, you can just go, if women truly want equality, they are better at communicating and they have a higher success rate. Wouldn't the dating market be a better place if women approached men? And you'd have to answer yes to that. Like, you have no choice. If you don't answer yes to that, then somebody else sees the contradictions between what you just said and your answer to the final question. So his cross-examination is on point. And that's just me spitballing and coming up with something off the top of my head. But so it ain't gonna be as good as his. I'm sure if I sat down and wrote something down, we might be able to come up with something. But man, he's doing it over there. Y'all go subscribe to this man. It's Complicated channel. I think his name is Jonathan. Go over there, leave a comment, tell him I sent you. Till next time.